6th, Mohammed the 6th, King of Morocco. The floor is yours. Thank you. I would like to read the full speech of His Majesty King Mohammed the 6th. Peace be upon his messenger, kith and kin. My brother, Your Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, the King of Kingdom of Bahrain, the President of the Arab Summit, Your Majesties, Highnesses and Excellencies, Your Excellency Secretary General of the Arab League, I would like at the beginning to thank His Majesty Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, our utmost thanks and invitation to attend this Arab Summit, hoping to the Kingdom of Bahrain all success in its presidency in this session, 33rd session. I also extend my thanks to my brother, the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdul Aziz of Saudi Arabia, and his Crown Prince, His Royal Highness Mohammed bin Salman Al Saud, the Crown Prince, for the successful presidency of the previous summit in its 32nd session. Your Majesty, Highnesses and Excellencies, the hold of this summit in exceptional circumstances internationally and regionally embodies our care to deal with the pressing sessions through transparency and looking at the cases and lift up the developmental cases that we face. The circumstances that the Palestinian cause witnesses due to the Israeli aggression on Gaza Strip makes us more insistent to make the Palestinian cause the core of our peace, just and lasting peace in the Middle East. Here we reconfirm our steady support for our people to take their and regain their rights and establish their independent state with its sovereignty on the 4th of June lines, 1767, with its East Jerusalem capital. The atrocities in Gaza Strip disclosed many atrocities that confront with the international community and the international law, humanitarian law. Therefore, we reiterate our condemn for the kill of the victims, the innocent victims, and the try of forced displacement, which is rejected. And this will exacerbate the situation and deepen the violation and because Gaza Strip is a part of the unified Palestinian land, we reiterate also to expedite the delivery of the humanitarian aid to the people of Gaza sustainably, and also guarantee the protection and safeguard of the civilians. As the chairman of the Jerusalem Committee, we reiterate our efforts with the President of Palestine, Mr. Mahmoud Abbas, to maintain the civilization situation for the sacred city of Jerusalem. And we continue through the field work which the Beit Aman Al-Quds, the Al-Quds Hope's House, to achieve projects and schemes that guarantee the civilization identity of the city and maintain the living situations and social life for the Jerusalem people and maintain their sovereignty and life. Regarding the Arab countries, cases, the Kingdom of Morocco is prompted by the desire to that the stability will prevail in these countries to overcome dialogue over the military solutions to reach up the sustainable operation of peaceful and understanding. Your Majesties, Highnesses and Excellencies, we see that the integration among our countries' organization has not, unfortunately, reached the point that we desire, despite all the components of success are available. Therefore, we reiterate that this is not a destiny, but we should need to believe the joint construction and commitment to the neighboring and respecting the sovereignty of the countries, the states, and prevent of interference in their affairs, and keep away from this separation. And therefore, we are sorry for not making Arab Union in its session to develop and support the development of the Moroccan countries by guaranteeing the movement of people, commodities and services among the countries, the 5 countries of North Africa. Your Majesties, Highnesses and Excellencies, the future of our Arab nations remains under the perspective of strategic to consolidate its unity and strengthen the ranks to serve our nation's interests and achieve their aspirations through integration among their components, which necessitates to care most for our session to give strength to people, particularly through empowering them in education and development, modern development, and offering many opportunities in different fields that qualify them to be involved in political and social and economical integration. Therefore, qualifying people, responsible people, is the real wealth of our countries, and this is the optimum and the right path for our people to develop and solve their problems and be very effective regionally and internationally. May Allah lead us to success, to the goodness of our people and nations and countries, and meet our aspirations for our people. Thank you, and peace be upon you.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for your speech. Now I invite Najib Mikati, Prime Minister of Lebanon, to please proceed to deliver your speech. Your Majesty, King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, Your Majesty's Highnesses, Excellencies, Secretary General of Arab League, Ahmed Abul Ghait, I really would like to thank first the Kingdom of Bahrain people and the government to welcome us here during these difficult settings. Thanks again to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for the efforts exerted in the previous session. Lebanon is here to the government, to the Bahrain summit, with a sea of conflicts, with waves of problems and crisis, but confident that the anchor of the Arabs is the protection for them. We are talking about 3 topics that constitute our concern these days. First, what we witness of escalations in the south for more than 7 months, in line with the suffering of Gaza Strip people, is a result for aggressions by Israel on our country, which believes in justice and peace. And Israel is violating our sovereignty in so doing. Lebanon, since these actions, wanted ceasefire and warning that continuation of Israel in this aggression will lead to more crisis in the region. From this, we renew our commitment in Lebanon of the UN international resolutions, and we need to press against Israel to stop their violations and aggressions by land, by sea, and by air, and to apply 1701 resolution of UN. Item 2 is the increase of the immigrants in Lebanon, which causes pressure against us. And we have shortage of resources in Lebanon due to that. Lebanon received many refugees, with also the reunion or coming back of Syria to the Arab League. We hope that we have a liaison Arab committee to enable more shared work and to crystallize a mechanism to provide the resources in Lebanon and to ensure that the Syrians refugees go back to their country, to Syria. Also, we confirm that Lebanon is ready to cooperate with the neighboring countries and Europeans to tackle this crisis, to put an end to this crisis of refugees by ensuring the return of the refugees, of the Syrian refugees and other refugees to their countries, which are safe now, and to provide aid to them in their countries, in Syria and other countries, and to provide them with the necessary aid. This is a crisis and a problem and an obstacle. Another crisis that we face which is a priority for us, is the presidency, and not reaching until now that the Lebanese do not have a president to regain the administration and discipline in Lebanon. We really depend on our brothers, the Arabs, to support us and help Lebanon to achieve this having a president in Lebanon, in order to regain the stability in Lebanon. Your Majesties, Highnesses, Excellencies, Palestine cause is the Arab cause, which is the first one, and it threatens the whole region and the development in the region. And the daily intervention and bombardment by Israelis to the Gaza Strip. We need to work hand in hand for ceasefire, which is sustainable, and to deliver the humanitarian aid to Gaza Strip, in order to have a final solution based on the two-state solution in line with the international UN resolutions, in order to have stability in the Arab region. In conclusion, we depend on our Arab countries to help Lebanon in order for Lebanon to develop and flourish. Wish you success in this summit. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Your Excellency Najib Mikati, for your speech. Now I call His Highness Ahmed Abdullah Sabah, the Prime Minister of Kuwait, to deliver his speech. The floor is yours, Your Excellency. In the name of Allah, the Compassionate, the Merciful, praise be to Allah, peace and blessings be upon His Messenger Muhammad, kith and kin. Your Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, may Allah bless his soul, the father, the president of the 33rd Arab Summit, Your Majesties, Highnesses and Excellencies, Your Excellency Ahmed Abul Ghaid, the Secretary General of the Arab League, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, peace be upon you all. At the beginning, as a representative of His Majesty, His Excellency Emir of Kuwait, Mr. Mish'al, to transfer all his thanks to success to you all for all our countries and in service of our just cases and issues. And also I congratulate His Majesty Hamad bin Isa bin Salman Al Khalifa, the King of Kingdom of Bahrain, for his presidency, for the works of the summit. We are believing that his wisdom will effect success to our works, thanking the Kingdom of Bahrain government and people and leadership for the hospitality and welcome and the distinguished preparation for this summit. I also extend my thanks to His Majesty, the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman Al Saud, the King of Saudi Arabia, and to His Royal Highness Emir Mohammed bin Salman bin Abdul Aziz Al Saud, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia and the Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. May Allah protect them for their unflagging efforts during their presidency to the previous session. In the previous session of the 32nd one, we should also praise the efforts of the Secretary General, Mr. Ahmed Abul Ghaid, and the General Secretariat for the preparation for our meeting and follow-up. Your Majesties, Highnesses and Excellencies, our meeting today has come in catastrophic and brutal scenes that affect us due to the continued destruction and killing and the genocide launched by the Israeli forces against our Palestinian people in Gaza and the other cities of Palestine, which represents trespass and unprecedented tyranny against the humanitarian values. There is no doubt the Israeli brutal continued to Gaza Strip, leaving destruction and leaving thousands of victims, including men and women and children. We reiterate that this country will not enjoy peace and stability, and the people will not feel justice without the Palestinian people gaining their complete rights and bringing the occupation to the will of the international will. In this connection, we reiterate the importance of the international community to hold its responsibility, and the Security Council also hold its responsibility and take resolutions that impose on the occupation to cease fire directly on Gaza Strip and condemn the brutal attack that the Israeli forces has started in Rafah city, which will result in repercussions against the civilians within the absence of the humanitarian aid and affording the international safeguard and protection for the Palestinian people, and the expedite the entrance of the humanitarian aid and preventing the expansion of war. We reiterate on the important role of the Norway role that it plays, and Kuwait refuses totally the forced displacement for the people of Gaza and the repercussions, humanitarian repercussions, which constitute violation for the international law, and Kuwait also calls the Security Council to adopt a resolution to grant Palestine a full membership in the UN, and welcome in this connection to the resolution of the UN resolution emanated on May 9, 2024 in this connection, and reiterate its steady position against the Palestinian cause and commitment that guarantees the rights of Palestinian people and the just of their cause, and grab the international legitimacy resolutions and establishing the Palestinian state on the 4th June 1967 lines with East Jerusalem as its capital, which is a main condition to achieve and realize stability and peace in the region. Your Majesties, Excellencies and Highnesses, our Arab region faces big challenges and dangers and speedy developments and instability as well. That necessitates more cooperation and collaboration to combat them and build clear perspectives and envisages that meet our desired ambitions for our Arab unity, that meets the aspirations of our peoples in stability and security. In this regard, we reiterate our steady position to support the maritime, or according to the international law, and the agreement of maritime agreement, and guaranteeing the safety of navigation and energy. And we also condemn and total refusal for all foreign interference which trespass and violate any sovereignty of any Arab country. We reiterate also the dialogue principles and the peaceful solutions, and respecting the sovereignty and the agreements and convenes of the people and the countries. Again, we reiterate our thanks and hoping all success for this summit. And thank you indeed.
We invite His Excellency Hamza Abdi Barry, Prime Minister of Somalia, to please proceed to deliver your speech. In the name of Allah, the Most Compassionate, praise be to Allah Almighty and Prophet Muhammad. Your Majesty, King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, King of the Kingdom of Bahrain, Chairman of this cycle of the Bahrain Summit, and Your Royal Highness Mohammed bin Salman of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Your Majesties, Highnesses, Excellencies, Secretary General of Arab League, His Excellency Ahmed Abul Ghait, peace be upon you. I'm honored to be with you in this important summit on behalf of Sheikh Mahmoud of Somalia Republic, and I'm pleased to thank and appreciate His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, the King of the Kingdom of Bahrain, and His Royal Highness Prime Minister for the hospitality since we arrived in the Kingdom, which is considered our second home. We expect recommendations and outcomes to combat and face the challenges unprecedented in the region. I would like also to congratulate His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa and the Crown Prince of the Kingdom of Bahrain of the Bahrain Summit, wishing them success in this summit, hoping that we will achieve our aspired objectives. Also, we appreciate and the efforts exerted by the custodian of the two holy mosques of the previous summit and His Royal Highness Mohammed bin Salman that faced the challenges. We are meeting today in unprecedented challenges that requires enhancing cooperation among our countries and increase coordination. In the Arab region witnesses lots of challenges and troubles and economic and armed conflicts and disputes. As for our pivotal cause, which is the Palestinian cause, we are concerned about the situation, deteriorating situation in Palestine, and we condemn the Israeli genocide of the Palestinian people. We confirm the coordination among the Arab countries to ensure the rights of the Palestinian people for a better free life. The Republic of Somalia confirms the peaceful settlements for the Palestinians, and we support all the steps that taken by the Palestinians to stop the brutal aggression of Israel against Palestinians in Gaza, and we need to apply the UN resolutions and to provide and deliver humanitarian aid to the Palestinians. Your Majesty's Highnesses, Excellencies, with regard to Somalia, still Ethiopia try to interfere in our situations and in our life by interfering in our situation and trying to take parts of our region. We reiterate that they are interfering and violating our settlement. This is reflected negatively in the navigation in the Red Sea and in the trade. The Federal Somalia Republic really welcomes the Ministerial Committee to maintain the settlement and peaceful life in Somalia. We also are waiting more support by the Arab countries to Somalia, Republic of Somalia. We are always looking for peace, not war. We really are looking for peace. Your Majesties, Highnesses, Excellencies, in this context, the government of Somalia is keen on the liberation of our countries and to restore some areas which were taken by the terrorists groups. And we need to have providing aid, humanitarian aid to Somalia in order to overcome all the challenges through the support by the Arab countries, whom we thank very much indeed for their support continuously in developing the Federal Republic of Somalia. Somalia is trying to apply programs for investment and to create opportunities to meet the aspirations of the Somalis and to combat the challenges. And we are looking for cancelling debts, $4.5 billion of debts. We are keen on commerce among the Arab region and North Africa in order to provide more opportunities for development and growth. Your Majesties, Highnesses, Excellencies, the government of Somalia confirms that we care about peace and peace forces to ensure training of our forces. Therefore, we request the Arab countries to support our independence and to contribute in our security regionally. As you know, Somalia is rich in animal wealth, fisheries, renewable energy. Therefore, I invite you to invest in Somalia. There are promising opportunities for investment. We invite Arab companies to invest in Somalia, and the government will provide all the facilities to contribute in ending the unemployment and providing opportunities of jobs. In conclusion, I really express the appreciation and thanks to the Kingdom of Bahrain, King, people and government, and wish you success in this Bahrain summit. Asking Allah Almighty to give us success. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Your Excellency Hamza Amdi Barri, for this speech. And I invite now Her Excellency Mr. As'ad bin Tariq Al Saeed, the Undersecretary of the Prime Minister for the International Cooperation and Affairs and the representative of the Sultan of Oman, to deliver his speech. The floor is yours, Your Excellency. In the name of Allah, the Compassionate, the Merciful, Your Majesty King Hamad bin Isa bin Salman Al Khalifa, King of the Kingdom of Bahrain, the President of this session, 33rd session of the Arab Summit, at the level of the summit, Your Majesties, Excellencies, Highnesses and Excellencies, Your Excellency, the Secretary General of the Arab League, the hosts, ladies and gentlemen, peace and the blessings be upon you all. I am honored at the beginning of my talk to greet His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq, the Sultan of Oman, wishing all success and guidance to your meeting, appreciating highly the hospitality and welcome and the distinguished preparation and organization for this summit on the land of Bahrain under the leadership of His Majesty Hamad bin Isa bin Salman Al Khalifa. May Allah protect him. And we should not also overlook our appreciation to the sister Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for its presidency of the previous summit, 32nd, under the leadership of the custodian of the two holy mosques, His Majesty King Salman bin Abdul Aziz, and the Royal Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, the Prime Minister of Saudi Arabia. Your Majesties, Excellencies, Highnesses and Excellencies, this summit is being held under exceptional circumstances, and while the Arab nation is in need of empowerment to safeguard its security and strategic position and their economic properties, to be able to combat a world of complexities and challenges which will not be overlooked or overcome individually, but collectively, even at the least point of solidarity, synergy and collaboration that gathers us under our aspirations. The historical aggression imposed on the Palestinian people imposes to take a more firm Arab position to enable the Palestinian people to gain their rights and recognition of the Palestinian state, independent Palestinian state, and the two-state solution according to the resolutions of the UN and the Arab Initiative, Peace Initiative, and the principles of the international law. Without this, our region will not be stable or prosperous or developed, which our people and the world are desired to. At the same time, and based on our historical responsibility and ethical responsibility which gathers us, we call upon the international law to move directly in this connection and apply the standards of the international law to realize and stabilize the justice for the Palestinian people and guarantee stability and safety for all. Majesties, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we reiterate the importance of the neighboring policy and the sovereignty of the countries and non-interference in the internal affairs, and safeguard the right of people to live together peacefully and in integration and dignity. So long we look for war justice, we should ask Allah to support us. We ask Allah to support us and guide us to what is good for us, and He is the best one to do that. Thank you. Allow me at the beginning to extend your Majesties, Highnesses, and Excellencies the greetings of His Excellency Kais Saied, the President of Tunisia, and his appreciation for his brothers, the leaders of the Arab countries and states, and saving time, the speech of the President of the speech to the Secretary of the Arab League. And in this occasion, I thank His Majesty Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, the King of Kingdom of Bahrain, for the hospitality and the reception and welcome and what the Kingdom of Bahrain has afforded all the circumstances to effect success to this summit. And I also appreciate the wisdom of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for its previous session, and thanks are extended to His Excellency the Secretary General of the Arab League and his team for their unflagging efforts to reinforce the joint Arab action. Your Majesties, Highnesses, and Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Tunisia has saved or spared no effort to cooperate all the initiatives and ideas to focus on the crucial and pivotal issues and highlight them over all the considerations under the circumstances and exceptional conditions that our region is witnessing. On the top of them is the Palestinian cause and the paths to put an end for the Israeli occupation and the genocide war that our Palestinian people is facing nowadays. Tunisia has expressed at the beginning of its steady and supportive position to the Palestinian people to regain their legitimate rights, which will not be overlooked under the aging and ancient and materialize and realize the independent state on its land with its capital Jerusalem, East Jerusalem, And we look forward that the summit will end up with the resolutions that that align with our aspirations of people and peace. Thank you indeed. Thank you, Your Excellency Nabil Ammar, for your speech. And I call now His Excellency Ahmed Khattab, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and the people of Algeria abroad to deliver his speech. The floor is yours, Your Excellency. In the name of Allah, the Compassionate, the Merciful, peace and blessings be upon His messenger, kith and kin. Your Majesty, King, and the President of the Summit, allow me to read at this meeting the message directed by His Excellency Abdelhamid Tebboune, the President of Algeria. His Excellency apologizes for not attending this summit and participating your efforts that defend the interests of the nations and highlight its position and reinforce what they look for in terms of development, security and safety. So I will read the message of the President. The Arab Summit is being held in an exceptional circumstance and in a more difficult regional circumstances. The current crisis, which encompasses the international entity, has become a reality with its repercussions and results affect the whole world without distinction and discrepancy. The isolation that has affected the mechanisms of the international work, on top of them the UN organizations and the central body represented in the Security Council, is one of the points of this acute crisis, which controls the development and the prosperity around the world. Regarding our Arab region, it is confirmed that it also witnesses the same circumstance, full of challenges and crises, and stage embodies its difficulties and very difficult and dangerous of what our people in Gaza will face of existential threats, and what the Palestinian cause will face as a whole in terms of liquidation dangers that awaits it. Our central cause is in need today for a united Arab nation that advocate it and will be the first one to defend its rights and will be in the front line to establish the independent Palestinian state on its land as a just and lasting solution for the Arab-Israeli conflicts. On this base, Algeria has been working since it's affiliated to the Security Council, honestly and with all dedication, to empower the Palestinian cause to regain its position as the oldest cause on the agenda of the UN, as the most prominent cause that needs to be on top of the priorities of the UN, and also as the most important cause that need mobilization of the efforts to respect it and enable people to respect it and materialize it. With this connection, what imposes on us regarding the priorities to put an end to the Israeli aggression and guarantee the delivery of the humanitarian aid, and seize and stop the forced displacement of the Palestinians. Regarding the war of Gaza, which should be against of what has been before, but after the war of Gaza necessitates to unite our energies and ranks and mobilize our efforts to find a solution based on just and bases and fundamentals according to the international law agreed. And after the war of Gaza should lead to the Palestinian project achievement represented in the establishment of the Palestinian state on its land without conditions. From this perspective, we welcome the increased optimum for the official recognitions of the Palestinian state and the support that its membership project receives in the UN. The historical resolution demanded by the General Secretariat of the United Nations in this connection, for some days, embodies in its content and its objectives a historical fact which is supporting and realized lately by the international group and the core of the conflict of Israeli-Arab conflict to weaken this conflict, which will not be realized only by this project and expedite the establishment of the Palestinian independent state. We should benefit from this, the core of this resolution, and we reiterate the Security Council to look again in the full file of the full membership of the Palestinian state in the UN. To compensate the chances for the equity of the Palestinian people and bring them justice for their rights. Your Excellencies, Majesties and Excellencies, my talk redundantly about the Palestinian cause imposes on our countries of what they face of crises and catastrophes of political and economical and social dimensions. The situation in the Sudan and Libya also, and Yemen, and all over the Arab countries who are deprived of stability are in need also to a role, prominent Arab role that contributes to stop war among the people of the same country and infuse the war and end the threats regarding the foreign interference that expand fiercely. The importance of work and effectiveness in this condition and circumstance within the challenges bring it back again to the priorities, to the reform of the Arab League file and weaken the challenges. Reform demanded by them all is expanded and its points is clear for all, and the formation is very important to seize the opportunity for the challenges, and the formation also imposes itself to unite our ranks and strengthen them to defend our joint interests and our central cases. And the formation also imposes itself finally to reconsider the Arab war joint work and regain the well-being of the Arab world and bring back its position as an international effective party on the international arena. And this is the end of the presidential letter. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for your speech. Now we invite His Excellency Hussein Awad Ali Muhammad, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Sudan Republic, to please proceed to give his speech. In the name of Allah, the Merciful, the Compassionate, praise be to Allah and prayers on Prophet Muhammad. Peace be upon him and prayers. Your Majesty Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, King of the Kingdom of Bahrain, Your Majesties, Highnesses, Excellencies, Your Excellency Secretary General of the Arab League Ahmad Abul Ghait, peace be upon you. I would like to start my speech to express our gratitude to the Kingdom of Bahrain and His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa for the hospitality. And I'm honored to convey to you the congratulations and greetings of President Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, who couldn't be here to participate. With the Jubilee, the Silver Jubilee, we express also our appreciation to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for their good leadership of the previous session of the summit. Also would like to thank Arab League Secretariat General and His Excellency Ahmad Abul Ghait, General Secretary of the Arab League. Majesties, Highnesses, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we are concerned with the concept of the group security in the Arab world, and this requires agreement on cooperation to ensure stability in the region and to protect its security by enhancing joint action of work to combat and face the aggression of the Israelis against the Palestinians, and to support also the Sudan Republic, and to support peace and reconciliations in Syria, Yemen, Libya. Therefore, the government of the Republic of Sudan condemn Israelis' aggression against Palestinians and reject the siege imposed by Israelis to Gaza Strip and targeting Rafah and preventing the Palestinians from getting water, electricity, medicine, food. And all these violations are many, which are taken in front of all the world. This is really a violation to all international traditions and resolutions, and ignoring the standards internationally. The Republic of the Sudan asks ceasefire, which is continuous in Gaza. Sudan confirms its position to refuse the displacement of Palestinians. Also, we welcome the UN enhancing Palestine in the UN and to confirm the right of Palestine to get full membership in the UN. And we hope that this resolution is a step so that Palestine will get complete, full UN membership. Also, we reiterate and renew ending this conflict, reasons, causes of this conflict, by establishing the State of Palestine based on the 4th of June 1967 of the two-state solution. Your Majesties, Highnesses, Excellencies, a month ago, particularly on the 15th of April, last April, 1 year has elapsed of the militia in the Sudan and their war, a complete war against the state of the Sudan and the people of the Sudan, which caused destruction in the Sudan. This militia and rebellion wanted to seize the authority by force of weapon, to have an agenda which is crooked and to achieve regional suspicious greediness, not taking into consideration the cost of this war and the destruction. Sudan hopes some regional entities that support these militias to stop the support of these killers who brought death, destruction to Sudan. The armed forces of the Sudan have faced this aggression by having the people around this army. This is an unprecedented support. So the militia lost and they couldn't take the power, and now they are against the people and attacking the people, killing them and having aggression on their lands, and changed the Sudan into a continuous fire and destruction. Your Majesties, Highnesses, Excellencies, the terrorist militia enlarged the war to civilian areas which have no armed forces, such as Walayat Al Jazeera and Al Fashir city and other cities or villages that are peaceful, and Al Fashir and Al Khartoum, which is all civilians. They are considered as regional humanitarian work to provide aid and support to the people and to meet the emergencies. Targeting these civilians by the militia and taking the Al Jazeera and also robbing and all the food from the centers of UN and international organizations. This caused escalation in the Sudan and the ramifications of these militias. We condemn the violations of the militia, especially by also the High Commission of Human Rights and Human Rights Watch, and also all the organizations that care about the disputes of and many other governments and Western states are witnesses to the atrocities of the militia, who are terrorists, and they are not different from Daesh and Boko Haram and their terrorism. We confirm that these militias were not able to continue for a war in Sudan without the regional support from other parties, which causes violation to our sovereignty and interference into our affairs, which we noted in our security forces. Also, The media talked about the violations of the militias and their channels into the country. Any support to the militia and the terrorists means participation of these supporters in terrorism and crimes against humanity. These practices necessitates a response to these militia and to support the Sudanese armed forces and the legitimate government of the Sudan. The atrocities by the militias caused bloodshed and destruction. However, the government of the Sudan continued negotiations and did not close the doors of negotiations. There is the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Jeddah resolution and signature of in May 2023, and what understandings also that stipulate the protection of the civilians and providing humanitarian aid and getting rid of militias from the civilian areas in order that people or civilians go back to their homes. However, the militia terrorists, in line with their deception, did not abide by any agreement or accord or declaration. They still occupy their homes and target civilians and kill and rob the people. Therefore, new negotiations, despite what happened for 1 year, these militia continue ignoring what we have achieved in agreements. Therefore, our government renews the confirmation of its abiding or commitment that all the parties to have pressure against the militias to abide by a Jeddah declaration in order to open channels for humanitarian help and provide medicine and humanitarian aid to the people who are civilians. In this context, we confirm in the government of Sudan that we are in line with Egypt's accord in July 2023, which looks forward to the positive results. Your Majesties, Highnesses, Excellencies, distinguished guests, settlement of Sudan is part and parcel of the regional security of the Arab world. We need stability in the Sudan and to ensure the Red Sea and the African Horn stability and peace in this region, and to confirm the support to the Sudan to ensure its independence and sovereignty, and to maintain peace, and to reject any interference in the Sudan, and to rebuild what has been destroyed of infrastructure through having funds and I reiterate thanks to the Kingdom of Bahrain, King of Bahrain and people for their hospitality and good management of the conference.
Thank you, Your Excellency Ahmed Ali Awad Mohammed, for his speech. To this end, we come to the end of the speeches of Their Majesties, Highnesses, and Highnesses, the leaders of the Arab states.
سيفو بحر غاص سفر مركب ولول وناخذ علم حمر واطيب ذكر على الفخر مستحوذ سيفو بحر غاص سفر مركب ولول وناخذ علم حمر واطيب ذكر على الفخر مستحوذ
My dear viewers, my name is Amal Mukhtar. I have the pleasure to be with you during the coming hour. We have just been broadcasting live from Bahrain, from El Manama, the 33rd session of the Arab League Summit, which gathers a large number of Arab countries, 22 countries. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi participated in the session, and during his speech on the session, the President spoke about the challenges that are facing the Arab world, and also the President have spoken of a number of issues. He started with of course, talking about the brutal aggression of the Israeli occupation troops in Gaza Strip, and said that history is going to stop before this war. Also, he said that the international organizations have to register what is going on in the Gaza Strip, with the tens and thousands of deaths every day. The President also said that Egypt is also seeking a two-state solution, and that Egypt rejects completely the military aggression or the military operation in the Rafah city. Egypt is also going, he said that Egypt is going also to continue its responsibility concerning the Palestinian cause and supporting the Palestinian cause, and that he is completely, and Egypt is completely against the liquidation of the Palestinian cause. And he said that Egypt has led peace in the area, and that Egypt is seeking to save the Palestinians and is with the idea of the two-state solution in Israel. And during the session, this is the opening session, during the session King of Bahrain Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa spoke, and also there was a statement, also a speech by Ahmed Abul Ghait, Secretary, Arab League Secretary General, and also the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, in addition to the Hussein Ibrahim Taha, the Secretary General of the Islamic Cooperation Organization, with other, also the Iraqi president also delivered a speech in the Sudanese, and also President Mahmoud Abbas, who spoke about the situation, the catastrophic situation in Gaza Strip and also the West Bank. Also the president of Mauritania, Djibouti, and other Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are going back to resume the inaugural session of the 33rd round of the Arab League Summit.
أستأذنكم جلالة الملك في قراءة إعلان أهم النقاط الواردة في إعلان
Bahrain. In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate, Their Majesties, Excellences and Highnesses, the leaders of the Arab countries adopted Bahrain Declaration that deals with all challenges and issues facing the Arab nation, and it emphasizes the Arab solidarity and intensifying the joint Arab action to build the future well deserved by Arab nations. And the statement focuses on the issue of ceasefire and ending the aggression of Israel on Gaza and the unprecedented humanitarian disaster it is causing, the necessity of protecting civilians as well as providing civilians with humanitarian aid without any impediments. The leaders in their statement emphasizes that ending the Israeli occupation and establishing the independent Palestinian state with full sovereignty according to the two-state solution is the only method to achieve comprehensive peace in the region. Also, the declaration covers the Arab positions regarding the Arab multiple crises, and the leaders decided to adopt the initiative submitted by the Kingdom of Bahrain, and they are the following. First, issuing a call to hold an international conference under the auspices of the United Nations to settle the Palestinian cause according to the two-state solution, to end the Israeli occupation to all Arab occupied territories, and to embody the Palestinian independent state with sovereignty, so that this would be implemented according to the international legitimate resolutions, so that it would coexist beside Israel to pave the way for achieving comprehensive and fair peace. Secondly, directing ministers of foreign affairs in Arab countries to communicate with the foreign ministers of countries all over the world to urge them to acknowledge the state of Palestine and consult all ministers regarding this motion. in addition to reporting to the Secretariat of LAS what the steps they are going to follow in an attempt to get full Palestinian membership in the United Nations as an independent state with full sovereignty, intensifying the Arab efforts with all members in the Security Council to achieve this acknowledgement. Thirdly, providing educational services to those impacted by crises and conflicts in the region, those who are deprived from the right to regular education because of insecurity and political conditions, as well as the repercussions of displacement, migration, and this would be done in coordination between LAS and UNESCO in the Kingdom of Bahrain. Fourth, improving health care for those impacted by conflicts and disputes in the region, as well as developing pharmaceutical industry and vaccine industry in the Arab countries, and securing the provision of pharmaceuticals and medicine in cooperation between the League of Arab States as well as World Health Organization and the Kingdom of Bahrain. Fifth and last, developing Arab joint cooperation in the field of fintech, innovation, digital transformation, to provide an enabling environment to provide creative and innovative financial services using new technologies. This is the brief Bahrain declaration that is of 8 pages and covers all different issues. Thank you, Your Majesty the King. Thank you, Your Excellency the Secretary General of the League of Arab States. The last speech, the closing speech of the summit. Your Majesty, Your Highnesses, Your Excellencies, the Secretary General of the League of Arab States, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, peace be upon you. My brothers, Your Highnesses, Your Excellencies, we are glad at the end of the 33rd session of the Arab Summit to thank you all and to express our appreciation for your participation, your valuable participation, and your rich contributions to the proceedings of this blessed summit. Through these great outcomes that symbolize our collective desire to give momentum to the path of the joint Arab action to achieve the interests of our brotherly countries and its generous peoples. And we are proud that the Kingdom of Bahrain hosted this blessed meeting with its noble objectives. And on this occasion, we would like to re-extend our thanks and appreciation to the Secretary General of the League of Arab States and the Secretariat of the League of Arab States for the efforts they exerted and their endeavors to organize and hold this important session as best as possible. At the end of the summit, we pray Allah to support us all and to crown our efforts with success for the benefit of our Arab countries. Wishing the Republic of Iraq all success in hosting the proceedings of the coming Arab Summit, God willing. Thank you all, and peace be upon you.